Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cynthia Renee and today we're doing something a bit different. This is going to be my first ever how to crochet for beginners series. So in the series we're just going to go through some simple things, just helping those who are new to crochet learn some of the basics and get started. It's not going to be a long series. This is really just getting the basics down so that you can pick up and crochet anything. I know that there's already a lot of information out there, especially on YouTube, a lot of videos. So this is just one more added to it. Just depends on your preference, who you like to see. And sometimes I like to see different people do it. So that's what this is going to be. So to get started in crocheting, the first thing you're going to need, of course, is your hook of choice. I love these Clover Amour hooks. They are amazing. I love the ergonomic grip. Some people complain about the length, but I actually have relatively small hands, so these work well for me. But there's plenty of other hooks out there. It really doesn't matter what hook you use. You just want a nice smooth hook, one that doesn't have anything rough on it, anything that's going to kind of snag or drag, but you'll actually figure out what your preference for a hook is as you get started. Just whatever you find, buy it, start using it, and you'll begin to understand how you feel about the hook, whether you like it or not as you begin to use it. Just so you guys know, I got this hook off of Amazon in a pack. It was like $45 for like a pack of a bunch of different sizes, but you can also get these individually. But I really do love these hooks. Would definitely recommend anyone trying these out. You are also going to need a pair of scissors. Doesn't matter what type of scissors you are. I wanted to be fancy and got these little scissors, but it really doesn't matter. Just a pair of scissors and a darning needle. I love these metal ones. I like the really thin metal ones. They make it good for splitting yarns and really getting your ends woven in. This has a very small eye right here, so gets kind of challenging to weave things in, but I overall love this, and I will accept a small eye and struggle through that if it means that I can weave things in a bit easier. But whatever little darning needle you have is perfectly fine. So those are your tools. And then of course you need your yarn. It does not matter what yarn you use. I love 24/7 cotton, especially when you are learning as a beginner, because you can really see the stitches really well, because of the way the yarn is woven together. It's not just twisted, so you don't have to worry so much about splitting yarns. And also stitch definition is really, really good. But whatever yarn you choose to use is fine. It doesn't really matter. When you're beginning, a lot of beginners like to use acrylic, and that's perfectly fine to use acrylic as well. My preference is just cotton. I actually don't even have any acrylic in the house anywhere at all. This is a good season for it though. Sorry, it's fall. Anyways, so to get started, you're going to just pull your yarn, whether you choose to pull. I am a center pull girl. I like to pull from the center, but if you choose to pull from the outer, that's perfectly fine too. I just like pulling from the center. It's really smooth, depending on the kind of yarn that you have though. Some yarn has a lot of breaks in it, and it sucks when you come across it because you can't see it before you get there. But regardless, we are about to get started. Let me make sure that I'm not rambling. So to get started, you're going to make a slip knot. This is a basic start for crocheters or anyone. Whenever you're making a project, there's generally a slip knot to start. So the first thing you're going to do when you make your slip knot is, well, the way I like to do my slip knots is I like to take 2 fingers, wrap it around, just like that, like you have an X, and then you're going to reach in, grab the yarn from underneath, grab both ends, and just pull tight. And that makes a slip knot. And then you can just grab the end here and slide it right up to your hook. So again, just to show you, take your 2 fingers, wrap it around, make your X, then come around to the back of your fingers, go inside the loop, grab it, let go, grab the extra or the waist thread here, grab the thread that's coming from the ball here, and then just pull. And that'll tighten it up, and then I can just grab my needle, hook it into there, and then pull to slide up. And that is a slip knot. There are a number of ways you can do it. That is just how I do it. So feel free to go back, slow it down, whatever you have to do. But anyways, so once you have your slip knot, we're going to start with a basic chain. So a chain is pretty much the foundation for most crochet projects. If you see it, it's going to tell you to chain any pattern. Anybody's going to tell you to chain 5, chain 20, chain 100. You know, the chain is the base, your foundation. So to chain, once you have your slip knot, you're going to, now the way I hold my hook, this is important, the way I like to hold my hook is I hold my hook like I would a knife. Like if I was standing at a cutting board and I was cutting, I'd cut like this with my finger kind of on the back part of the blade. I don't know if you're supposed to do that. That's just the way I cut for balance. And then my other hands are kind of coming, fingers are kind of coming in like this. This is called a knife hold. This is how I hold it. I have seen people hold it like this, like they would a pencil. I do not know how they crochet like this, but whatever. Whatever way is comfortable for you, that's how you hold it. But this is how I hold it. I take my thumb and I press it here. My middle finger, the rest of my fingers kind of curl around. And then my index finger comes right here on top of the actual metal part of the hook. So that is how I hold my hook. And then with my left hand, because I'm right-handed, I take my yarn, and this part is all about tension. Your tension is how smoothly or how fast or how slow or how tightly your yarn is going to pull from your ball here. So whatever you choose, however you choose to hold it, the tightness is going to be crucial to you and your speed. So for me personally, and I've seen people do this a number of different ways, you can start, I like to hook my pinky around the yarn one time, and then I come up underneath the ring and middle finger, and I just place the yarn on top of my index finger. So just I wrap it around once and come underneath my index finger, under and over my index finger, and this is my preferred tension when I'm doing crochet. It doesn't really matter what you choose to do, which finger you choose to do, how you choose to do it. Some people don't even just do this like this and just hold it. Me, I need a little bit of extra tension. So this is just how I choose to do it. But whatever way is most comfortable for you to get started, this is just for me the perfect amount of tension. So from here, once you've got your fingers set up and you're ready to go, I'm going to hold this waist yarn down here just to start, and with my my working yarn, that's what it's called, sorry. With my working yarn, I am going to take this hook and I'm going to wrap the working yarn in front of the hook. So the hook is facing towards you. Wrap it in front of the hook, and then come down, turn your hook so that it goes into the hole and pull through. And that is your first chain. So let's get a little closer and we'll do this whole thing again. So we'll start out with our slip knot. Okay. And then we will get our fingers set up with our tension. Hold your waste yarn down, and this kind of just helps you get a nice little tight, firm grip on your work. You're going to wrap the yarn from your working yarn around your crochet hook, and then you're going to slide the crochet hook down towards this slip knot. Once you get down to the slip knot, if you try to go straight down, you're not going to go anywhere. So you're going to have to, keeping the tension up here on your finger, turn it slightly so that it's pointing towards this knot area. And this knot has a bit of a hole. As you can see right here, there's a little gap right there in the hole. That is where your hook is going to come through. So you're going to come down and you're pretty much going to slide the yarn through that hole from the side. Okay. So when you put your, get back in there. So when you put your hook in here, you want to make sure that you don't pull too tightly. Okay. You don't want to pull the knot so tight that you close that gap completely, because that's going to make this first knot really hard. You want to give yourself just a little bit of slack so that you can see through there and you can get your hook through smoothly. So now wrap your yarn over your hook and then pull down, and as you come down, turn your hook towards the knot and pull through. And that is your first chain. Now from here you have your first chain, and all you're going to do is repeat that motion over and over again, counting your stitches until you have enough. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, turning your hook as you get towards the knot, and slide through. Yarn over, pull down, turn your hook, go through. And you just keep this motion up over and over again until you get your chain. When you get down far enough and you feel like you need to move your hands, just move your hands upward and continue. And it is that easy to make a foundation chain for your crochet. All right, so now that we have learned our foundation, the next thing we're going to learn how to do is a slip stitch. So a slip stitch is the smallest stitch you can possibly do in crochet. It is probably everyone's least favorite just because it's so small and it takes so long to finish everything. But slip stitches are really good to learn, especially because it is how you close out a row. If you're going in the round, it is how you close out a row. So to do a slip stitch, all you're going to do is you're going to take your hook. You're going to skip this first chain right here, the last chain that you made, and we're going to go into the next chain. And you don't necessarily, unless you need to, sometimes you can go through these back loops, but we're just going to, for the sake of beginners, just go through these top parts of this braid right here. So we're going to take our hook, we're going to skip this one, and we're going to go into the next one. And we're just going to slide our hook through. Okay, so from here, we're going to skip this first chain, go into the second, and just put your hook right on in. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull your yarn through, and then you're going to pull through the last stitch again. So again, to slip stitch, we're going to go into the next one. You're going to put your hook into the next space, yarn over, pull the yarn through the loop, and then pull it through the loop one more time. Again, your hook goes into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. And we're going to repeat this until we get to the end of the row. And so if you look at what this final look of this stitch is, you can see on this front part, it kind of starts to look like a braid, and your stitches are right here. So here's the beginning chain. These are your stitches. So if you were to build up, you would go in through these top loops right here. And that is how you make a slip stitch. So the next stitch we're going to learn is the single crochet. Single crochet is probably the most basic stitch you're going to use. You see this in almost every single project you're going to do. So a single crochet starts out the way any other stitch usually starts. So we're going to make our slip knot. From here, we're going to chain, and you can chain however many you want, or if you're using a pattern, whatever the pattern says. So I'm just going to chain up some here, as we've already gone over that. And so from here, you're going to skip this first one, and we're going to go into the next stitch. Just like we did for the slip stitch, you're just going to put your yarn right on it, your hook in there, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through. And what separates this from the slip stitch is that once we pull through, we're going to yarn over once more and then pull through both stitches. So again, we're going to put our hook in to the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and you're going to pull through both of those stitches. Yarn goes in the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through both stitches. Put your yarn in the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And you just keep going just like that all the way to the end. And that is how you do a single crochet. So now this is going to be the top of your work. So let's turn our work. And how you turn your work usually is you're going to chain one, turn, and then we're going to go into this first stitch here, and you're going to go through, when you go through your stitch, you're going to go through both sides of it. So you see how it makes these little braids or like little V shapes. Each V is one stitch. So you're going to go underneath here. You can see where there's a little hole. You're going to go inside and you're going to have both of those on your hook. Those are considered one stitch. And then you're going to yarn over, pull through both of those, underneath both of those stitches, yarn over, pull through two. So you're going to go into the next stitch, which as you can see, this one where this hole is right here, that is the next stitch. And if you go in there, you should see two stitches on top. And that counts as, those two count as one stitch, okay? So you're gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Okay, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through two. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Again. And when you get to the last stitch, it can kind of get a little bit confusing, but you always want to look to see where you find that V. So if you have to twist your stitch a little bit to find it, go ahead and do so. And then you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And that is how you do a single crochet stitch. And again, when you start the next row, you're just going to chain one usually, unless whatever the pattern says. And then you can turn your work and continue. Always be sure to count your stitches to make sure that you have the right amount and to make sure you're always going into the last stitch, because sometimes it can be confusing. So that is how you do a single crochet stitch. So next in our series, we're going to work on half doubles. So half double crochets is basically the next step up from a single crochet. So we're just working our way on up. So to do a half double, let's start out by just getting our slip stitch, or our slip knot. So to start our half double, let's go ahead and just get our slip knot started. And when it's time to begin, just go ahead and chain your desired number of stitches. So I don't know how many I've chained here, but this is all we really need to learn on. So we're going to skip this first stitch again, and we're going to go into the second. So the first thing I'm going to do for this particular stitch is I'm going to yarn over. And then after the yarn over, you're going to put your hook into this, not this stitch, not the first stitch here that the yarn is coming out of, but this next stitch. So we're going to yarn over. And then with the yarn over, we're going to put our hook into this second stitch here. And as you can see, there are now 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. At this point, we're going to yarn over again and pull our loop through. So there are, again, 3 loops on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over one more time and pull your hook through all 3 loops. Just like that. So again, we're going to go into the next stitch, which is here. Let me get closer again. So we're going to go into the next stitch, which is here. And we're going to yarn over, put your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through that first stitch. Now you should have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, put your hook into the following stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, put it into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Again, yarn over into the next stitch, split the stitch a little bit, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And you will continue to the end of the row. And that is your half double crochet stitch. So we're going to do one more row of these. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Then I'm going to yarn over, putting it into this first stitch here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And we're just going to keep going just like we did for the first row. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull your hook through, yarn over, pull through 3. And that is how you make half double crochets. All right, so the next stitch you're going to learn in this beginner video is going to be the double crochet. Now the double crochet is a longer stitch. A lot of people actually prefer this stitch because it gets your work done faster, and sometimes it can use less yarn because I don't know why, it just does. But anyways, so a double crochet again is a very popular stitch, and it's one that you're going to see in a lot of works you do. So the first thing you're going to do is your slip knot. Okay, from here, we're just going to do our chain and chain however many you would like to do to practice with. That should be enough for me. And so to start our double crochet, whatever number of chains you're doing, you're going to want to add 2 chains. And those 2 chains we are going to actually skip. So 1, 2, so we're going to go into the 3rd chain from the hook. So you can count 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go into this 3rd hook from our chain. So we're going to yarn over, go into the 3rd chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through. So there should be 3 loops on your chains, on your hook so far. We're going to yarn over, that makes 4, but we're going to pull through 2. And then we're going to yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2. So that is a double crochet. And as you can see here, we have created another double crochet. This counts as a double crochet here on the end. So when you come through, it's going to be 1, 2. 2 double crochets. So we're going to go again. You're going to yarn over and you're going to put your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2. And we're going to do it again. Yarn over into your chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, yarn over, put your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2. And we will just keep going like this to the end of the row. All right, and that is what double crochets look like. So they have much bigger gaps in between. So let's show you how to do your next row. So you're going to start out, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. And then from here, you're going to yarn over. This chain 2 counts as a stitch. So you're not going to go into this stitch underneath. You're going to go into the stitch beside it. So this counts as a stitch. So we're going to go into not this one, but the very next one. And we're going to put a double crochet into that stitch. And then we're going to keep going, putting double crochets into every stitch along the row. So again, yarn over, put your hook into the stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, put your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way to the end of the row. Now you want to remember to count your stitches, because as we have reached the end of the row, you will know that if I count the bottom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this chain 2 counts as a stitch, making 10. So when I count up here, the chain 2 counts as a stitch, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our last stitch is actually a part of this chain 2. It's important to remember that because it's really easy to get it confused. Now, with this chain 2, one thing is it can be kind of hard to get into the loop the way it normally is and grabbing both of these loops, which I will try to do right now so that you can see what I mean, like that. Getting the hook into the back loop and grabbing both sides of the stitch can be challenging, as you just saw. So if you want to, you can do that. Depending on the project, it's honestly not always necessary to do that. You can just as easily go through just one side of that loop, and it's really not going to affect the end result of your work at all. It's going to look the same on the ends. It's the only place that you can do that on your work, and it doesn't change the overall look of it. So just something so you will know. Then from here, you'll chain 2, turn your work, and continue along with your double crochets. So that is the end of this How to Crochet for Beginners tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. Subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of other videos coming up, and I really want to add in a beginner's crochet. I think it would be super helpful. So please go ahead, like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming and watching, and until next time, stay blessed.